just on my way home from my treatments, as you can see, sitting in a bus as usual, and I thought I would just take this opportunity to thank you all from the bottom of my heart, honestly, for the outpouring of kindness and gentleness and friendship and support and love that you all showed me last week after I explained that I was having a bit of a tough time at the moment. You have no idea, or maybe you do, but you honestly have no idea how much that has meant to me, that it's made such a huge difference to how I feel, to how the preceding days have gone after that event. It really was uplifting and boosting to me, immensely uplifting to me, and David was so happy that I was feeling so much better. I have, though, made a decision to leave Italy a little sooner to rejoin him in Sydney and Mum. The circumstances this year have been so different, what with Mum not being the best, but also me not being the best. I've, as you know, have struggled a bit since my accident. I don't talk about it all the time, and it's going to be a really long process for me to heal, because some of you may not be aware, but prior to leaving for Italy this year, I found out I had a quadruple compound fracture in my spine, a fracture in my neck, back of my neck, and I am still healing from that and working on that, whilst I also try and heal those terrible injuries I got in the fall. So I have a lot going on physically, which has been a battle, and now that I'm on my own, everyday things are a bit of a chore. Even to fly home, I'm not taking a suitcase because I can't lift a suitcase. I don't have anyone to help me, so therefore I'm just going to be travelling with a little in-cabin bag, and I'll just have to cope that way. And I do have clothes back in Sydney, so I'll just manage. But it changes everything. It changes, and people out there, I know there'll be millions of you out there that have similar issues or have suffered from things. Oh, the bus is caught on a corner. This happens all the time because they're narrow roads and when the car goes the other direction. Yes, I know there's so many of you out there, and this resonates with you for sure. I'm sure so many of you out there suffer and have pain and suffer with ongoing things, and I sympathise with you, I understand, and I'm not here to complain or whinge. I'm just stating the facts. But your support has meant so much to me, honestly, and I truly cannot thank you all enough. Beautiful people. I also think, while I'm on the bus, then the only one on here now, that I will really, look, I really wanted to do this, but I keep on forgetting, and I apologise profusely, but I have to say a special thank you to the wonderful, wonderful, generous people that have donated to us on Buy Me a Coffee. You are special human beings, very, very special human beings, and look, we are over the moon grateful. It helps us immensely, honestly. It's been a tough year. I haven't been able to hardly work at all this year here in Italy because of the circumstances, and it's been a tough year for us all round, and with extra expenses with things. That money, as I've always said, which is not a great deal, there's just a few of you, but honestly, it all counts and it all adds up, and I put it to one side, and it's going to buy something really lovely for the cantina for sure. At the moment, I think it might end up being something like buying a really beautiful stone sink for the bathroom, or look, who knows, I will wait and see how I go, but I will definitely let you know what your contribution has been and how you have helped us, because I love to show, just like in the past I've bought, for example, flower pots and flowers and things for the summer. I'm not sure whether you want to be named. I know some channels call out people's names. I like to protect people's privacy because I know a lot of people do things with such generosity and kindness but prefer just to remain anonymous. So I will actually ask you individually if that's something you would like, but you know who you are. You're adorable, every single one of you, and we thank you. Really, really a massive thank you. Many of you are new to the channel. I know we've got a lot of new subscribers, and thank you so much for coming and joining us. I thought I would just do a little tour of some of the things that I've added to the home that you may have never really seen up close. This was my little gallery wall that I've been working on, and I kind of feel like it's complete at the moment. I don't feel like I want to add anything else to it just at this point in time. Maybe one day I might if I see something that feels like it's particularly right. But as you can see, I've got a little combination of little miniature mirrors, empty antique frames that I found at the different antique markets. I love fleur-de-lis, so I just couldn't help myself with that. But we have ancient prints. That is an original oil painting that my mum and dad bought in Italy years ago that mum gave me. It's a lovely painting I found at Vico Pisano Markets, I think. This is another beautiful, very, very heavy bronze mirror with the candle that I found at the markets as well. That's a beautiful original oil done by my gorgeous friend Philip Hill, who's an incredible English artist who came to stay here in Chianni and gave that to me as a parting gift. This is another wonderful little original oil framed like this that I picked up at the markets, and that's another gorgeous painting that was given to me by my mum as well, that she picked up with dad in Italy years ago. And then the last two are those cute little ones that I picked up. Now, did I get those? Yes, I got those from the markets as well the last time I was there, and I just loved the little tiny miniatures, and they were a cute frame. So they were my last little additions there to my little gallery wall. The bedroom is still a work in progress. This is the latest and greatest addition. Yes, it's not my pretty chandelier that I used to have that I love so dearly, and it does have a piece missing underneath, just where I've pointed where the light is. Unfortunately, the light cover, which is a really lovely opaque soft sort of piece of glass, broke when it was being installed, so that's coming, but so that will soften it down a little bit and finish it off. But it is a lovely timber and bronze kind of antique looking fan, which does the job beautifully, makes me sleep so much better at night, and it was the best fit from all the different ones that I could find. I wanted something totally silent, which, as you can tell, you can't hear a thing. It's wonderful, even when it's going really fast. But the bedroom is still a work in progress because I've never known what I wanted to do in here with colours. And I love my sage greens and caramels and oat colours and things like that. And as you might remember, I have a different bedspread as well, which is just like an oatmeal colour. I have the linen sheets. This is just a little cotton summer cover that I picked up locally because it's lighter and cooler. But I think I've picked the wallpaper now that I want to use in here, and this is going to be quite a dramatic change in here, and that's why I hesitate each time I go to order it. Plus I need David to be here anyway because I've never wallpapered in my entire life. I've done so many home renovations, but I've never wallpapered, and he has. So I won't attempt this without him. And I can't get up a ladder anyway at the moment because of my injury. But I think it's going to look really cool. And I think everything that's here, when it goes back, will actually match in really beautifully with what I've chosen. Now I'm going to superimpose a couple of wallpapers. I'm down to 2, but I think I've basically chosen my favorite. But it'll be interesting. I'll show you both and see what all of you think would look best, because I want this to be quite dramatic, really envelope you, embrace you, and make you feel like you're coming into like a beautiful, embracing sort of fantasy when you're here, and that it's another world. And I think in a house in Tuscany, you can do that kind of thing. You can go quite dramatic because, as you know, so many of the old buildings are so heavily, you know, like painted and muraled and all that kind of thing. And this is a very, very ancient house. Our house is originally from the 1200s, but of course has been, when it was restored, was totally renovated and quite modernized, and I'm trying to bring a lot of the lovely feeling back into it again. So I'm really hoping that by doing that, of course I'll still change the window covers, but I haven't got around to that because it's something that wasn't that important. I've got my little Venetian cupboard here with the lovely mirror that I bought, which is very heavy and it's turned a little bit. The little old clock there, my funny little chair. This wall I may have explained to people before. I know it looks very blank, but it's because we can't put anything on that wall because it's the downstairs rebuilt chimney, and they said don't put anything, don't hang anything on it, don't make holes in it. And that's why it looks quite blank. And because it looks quite blank, that's why my idea of wallpapering in here would just bring so much depth and drama in here that I haven't been able to achieve otherwise. And I thought, you know, I was going to paint, and then I thought, oh, well, paint is paint. Let's just go totally crazy and do something more interesting. So tell me what you think from the pictures, and we shall go from there. That will be a next year project for sure at this stage. Buonasera, everyone. I didn't know what to have for dinner tonight, and all of a sudden I was watching a YouTuber who was making risotto, and I thought, oh yes, I feel like something kind of like that, but I didn't feel like rice. And then I realized I had a bag of organic spelt, which, if you remember quite a few episodes ago when we went to the Lunigiana, we found out that up there they make a lot of vegetarian food, and spelt is a really big thing up there, and I've always loved spelt. But I hadn't been buying it and boiling it myself. In Italy, we're very lucky that we can buy lovely little cans of it pre-made or just already pre-boiled. But I started to buy the bags of the organic spelt and do it myself because it's so quick. You literally just throw it in water, boil it for about 10 minutes, and then that's it. And to that, this evening, I'm just going really, really simple. It's warm today, and I just feel like something really simple and light. So got this lovely little, this is just one of our local frantoio here, the oil makers here, just in Chianni. And they make lots of really lovely oils that have different flavors in them. And this one is the garlic and peperoncino, so the chili and garlic one. So I'm just going to put some of that, and then I'm chopping up some olives and some capers. I love saltiness. I'm a real savoury person rather than a sweet person. So just a few little capers, a few little olives chopped up, a little bit of olive oil, the farro, and some Parmigiano. I'll just put some grated Parmigiano over it, and that's my dinner. So it's simple, it's vegan or vegetarian for anyone that's into that kind of thing. I eat that like that a lot, not by any particular choice, just because I love it and I always have. I've always been more an eater of things like that rather than meats. And I had a little bit of turkey at lunch today, so I've had my animal protein today. I don't need any more. And it's just a nice, light, healthy dinner. It doesn't feel too heavy in this heat, but is good for you, really good for you, and is sticking to what I'm trying to do at the moment, which just remain on really nice, healthy, clean eating at the moment until I go home, just looking after my health as best as I can. I did put on a little bit of weight because of this leg issue, which is really annoying me because I don't need to be putting on weight already with my age and everything. I don't like it, and I did take off a lot of weight a while ago, so it's really annoyed me to put on weight. But it's just the way it is. And all you ladies out there, you know what it's like when you get past a certain age, that it gets more difficult. But as long as internally I'm looking after myself, keeping myself really healthy, and when I get back to Sydney, I'll get into my swimming again at the pool when my leg is recovered. I know everything's just going to be fine. I've got David's support. He's going to swim with me, get into the pool with me, and it's going to be great. I'll show you what this looks like when I'm finished, okay? So there you have the finished product. I know it doesn't look like anything much in particular, but I can tell you right now, it's absolutely delicious. It smells wonderful. The chili oil with garlic gives it this beautiful perfume. I've added some fresh basil from my basil just here on the windowsill, and I just had a little taste, and it's delicioso, honestly, believe me. So I'm going to take that upstairs, sit in front of a little YouTube video and just chill. It's a lovely evening, Sunday evening here, very quiet. And I might even have a little drop of white wine with this. I think a little bit of Trebbiano, why not? Let's have a Sunday night treat. Buon appetito! Buongiorno. Hello everyone. I'm in tile heaven this afternoon. I'm so happy. My beautiful neighbour Laurie has brought me here to Bitozzi, which is just near Laiatico, where Andrea Bocelli comes from. It's in La Sterza, actually, a little village right next door, or part of it. And I'm in this wonderful, wonderful, massive tile showroom. So I'll show you around. I'm looking for something particular, and we'll see what we come up with. Now, I've just found these. The lights are not turned on in this section, so I might have to ask the lady to turn on the lights because it's a bit dark. They've only just opened. But this one, not the darker one, but the surrounding ones I like, although it looks like it's just in a large format, which I did want the mixture formats like the other one had. And they've got these little ones with patterns that go with it, which are really quite sweet, because I need something that would mix to put up the shower wall, and that could perhaps work really, really well. It's always going to be a difficult job choosing tiles, isn't it? That's why you need to be here. I don't think I've seen a tile it's quite so big. It's like 2 square meters. There's a lot, obviously, of the timber effect ones. There's more very large ones. Look at these really tall ones where you put in one single one side by side. Arrivo! So we're looking at this one, which we really like now that the lights have been turned on. That's a lovely colour. I wasn't so keen on the dark, but it's called a mélange in the French word, which of course means mix, so you can't exclude it. But every now and again, to have a different colour actually does make it more like the natural travertine. That does tend to do that. And perhaps the smaller ones could be for the shower, or, you know, every now and again. I'm not sure, but I do like the colours. So the lady was just really kindly showing me the one I was looking at, which is called Mélange or Mix, has those darker colors, but you can just get the entire range in Claire if you didn't want to have that mix. So that's great, there's the choice of both. And that is just showing just the Claire on its own, the clear color. And that's Claire as well, that's the lighter color there. Perfetto.
Questo Mélange.
And that's the Mélange. Oh, and they've got it up the wall as well. Quindi quelli si può mettere anche su un muro.
Sì, sì, dove vuoi.
Ah, infatti è bello, posso...
Oh sì, sì. E c'ha un prezzo, sì, sì, c'ha un prezzo giusto.
So this one here is a little bit more economic, evidently, than the other one. And it's very popular, and it comes in the different sizes, as you can see in the photo, and different shades. There you've got all the sizes there. So that could be another choice there. The colour's really lovely. It's very nice. These ones are real travertine, I've just found out. They are not a ceramic, but we could get a 10 centimetre version of that, so slightly bigger, and it would mix very well with one of the other ones, so that's another option for the shower. So this is a real piece of travertine that I'm just trying as something to break up the designs with the other ones. This needs to be sealed, though the others don't. Oh, we're just on the road home from shopping, and look at the sunset that is happening before us. And I've just stopped in the roadway of the lovely Castelvecchio vineyards with all these beautiful cypress trees and rolling hills. Oh, it's just magnificent. Buonasera, everyone. I realised I don't show myself cooking very often at all, and you probably wonder, what does that lady live off? I do eat really well. I'm very health conscious. For anyone that doesn't know this, for many years I was actually a gut health consultant, and because I've had many severe health issues of my own over the years, I've always taken really great care of my health, or tried to at the very best. And I let my hair down every now and again, of course, and menopause hasn't always been so kind to me with weight issues and hormonal things. But if I stick to my diet that I know really works, it usually helps to balance everything out again. Now, cortisol, for those of you who know, that is created by stress, is the worst enemy of anyone that's trying to lose weight or look after their health. It just basically throws the balance of everything out. So I'm fighting that at the moment as well, because this has been a very stressful year for me, both physically, mentally, emotionally. So, you know, battling with a few things, but I just wanted to show you that. Oh, I need to turn that right down now. That I do look after myself. I do cook for myself, not all the time when it's super hot, and I'm not always that excited when David's not here. But for example, this, which smells, I wish there was smell-o-vision, it smells divine. I've just put a whole lot of garlic and capers and some little tomatoes I had left over that were nice and ripe in some olive oil, and then I've chopped up a whole lot of fresh turkey, and basically I'm making this really lovely little mix that'll be really delicious. And I'm going to cook a little bit of farro or spelt on the side to have as a little base to put it on, and this will be enough for me for tonight and tomorrow, because I eat so many grams of protein in that I kind of watch how much I'm eating, so there's plenty here for 2 meals for me. And it's looking really good, and it's smelling really great. And I thought I would just share that with you. I do eat pasta, and I do eat all the yummy things that we have here in Italy, of course. But I do try and balance things out the best I can. And I do try to primarily eat the things that I know are best for my gut health and for my insulin levels and things like that. So just a little bit of insight into me that I probably haven't shared before. There we go. I've just now turned that off, just to leave it sitting in the warm pan. And I've popped I wanted to show you, in case people don't know, sorry, I'm creating a shadow, what faro looks like. Faro with a double R-O, biologico, which means organic. Pronto in 10 minuti. I think you'll understand what that means. Ready in 10 minutes. So this is the one that I buy, and it's great. So really, really easy. Basically, just throw it into some water. It boils up. It then swells, just like, well, more so than rice actually, because as you can see, they're really tiny little grains, and they actually plump up quite a lot. And then you just strain it out in a little strainer, and you can eat it warm, cold. I love making salads from it. I just put the rest of the packet in. It'll be too much for me this evening, but again, as I said, I'll have something tomorrow. I'll make a salad with it, and it'll be great. Done. Wearing one of my special aprons that I made, and here's my dinner. Oops. Let me put the light. There we go. That looks a lot better, doesn't it? So it's the turkey with little baby tomatoes. They're mixed colour tomatoes, capers, garlic, olive oil on a bit of faro with a little tiny bit of basil on top. Buon appetito. Buongiorno everyone. How are you all today? Oh, can you hear that? That is the sweet, sweet sound of builders at work. I was woken up this morning at around 8. I'd stayed up very, very late looking at things on the internet. I'm a naughty girl. I don't sleep as well when David's not here, and I tend to get caught up at looking at things and searching for tiles and doing crazy things. I heard a noise this morning, and I thought, aha, they're back. So I've been down discussing a few new things that have to happen, which is great, and they're back to work, which is sweet music to my ears. It's been lovely having a 2-week break of no drilling, no banging, no bashing, no trucks, no anything else. But can you hear that drilling? It's actually a very welcome sound now after 2 weeks of silence, because they're great company for me in many ways, just knowing that there are people around, but also I just want to see things move forward, as you can imagine. And now that I'll probably be leaving to go back to Sydney sooner than normally is booked, I really want to see as much done as possible while I'm here, because obviously I keep a close eye on what's happening, can discuss changes, can discuss colours. Every now and again a misunderstanding happens, and I won't go into that, and it's not anything to do with language problems. It's more so just sometimes people don't always listen to what you say, and it's not the builders themselves. I won't go any further than that. I'm going to remain very diplomatic. The builders themselves that are here on the spot are gorgeous, and they're wonderful, and they do a great job, and they're very respectful and listen to me, and it's wonderful. So they are helping me out this morning in working out what stucco, I suppose you would call it. So that's the finishing touches on all of the walls down there, which I'll show you what I mean. The walls obviously have a rough render or a sealant on them, or some of them are being treated with special anti-humid things, as I told you. But now it's getting down to the finishing touches, where it actually will look like as it will look in the finished product. And I just showed them the tiles that I decided we were choosing. David and I went over the photos and things together and came up with the same choice, which is great. I just showed them to one of the workers downstairs, Marius, who's lovely, and he said, oh, Marisa, they're beautiful, it's going to be gorgeous. So I'm really getting excited now. I know I won't be here to see it finished, which is kind of sad. I won't be here until later, and it'll be done while I'm away. And also I'm really sad because obviously that means not filming the progress. but I'm going to try and see if I've got a friend living here in the village who I normally leave a key with, and that might be able to come and just make little tiny clips like my lovely friend Fiona did for me when we were in England, just so that we have an update and I can pass them on to you. That would be awesome. So let's see what we can arrange. But I'll take you downstairs and show you what's happening today. Oh, that scraping sound is music, isn't it? A lot of the plants are suffering at the moment. It's been, all the locals say the same thing, it's been one of the toughest summers so far. It's been extremely dry. We get storms with no rain. Plants are dying. You can see that little plant I think you can see on my neighbour's balcony that's literally died. A lot of my little flowers I had in here that are just annuals obviously haven't survived no matter what I try. The others are still doing well, which is great, but it's been tough, and a lot of the plants are just really struggling. They're not happy and bright and lovely and luscious green like they normally are. It's been really hard to try and just keep them alive. But anyway, what will survive will survive. It's a bit like that in nature, and I know when I come back next spring I'll probably be replanting again, and that's just the way it is. So that's the same as always. And Nina, Ninuccia, ciao bella, cosa c'è? Nina. My neighbour's little doggy. Let's have a look and see. Oh, they've closed one of the doors, so they must be working close to the doorway, I'd say. Or I might go through the other way. Oh, just as I was walking past, I thought I'd show you. I just love this little hole in the wall. You can see all the way through to the bathroom wall. And if you can imagine that on that wall right there in the doorway is going to be one of those backlit mirrors with the soft yellow sort of lighting. So when that's on from here, if the door's open, you'll see that. I did that on purpose. I really wanted it to be like a feature light, in fact, and just add a lot of ambience. So I think that's going to look really cool. What do you think? So Roberto's hard at work there. They are now doing today what I would call preparations to put the proper stucco. So they're making it much cleaner. They've been brushing all the walls down, going around the edges of things, cutting into edges. They're going to be obviously working on this wall. Anything that's really rough they have to clean up. The floor. Now the floor I got a bit confused about because I was thinking this is strange. It still seems lower than what I imagined, and I was right. They explained to me today this still has to come up at least another 10 centimetres. In fact, hang on, I'll get down low. If you can see the line of the concrete under there, it's going to come up to that. So we need to have the plumber come now and the electrician, where you can see lines sticking out of walls, and this box. So the plumber comes tomorrow. The electrician, I don't know when they've organised that for, but they come back. Then they lay the rest of the pipes that need to be laid. So there's some underneath the igloos. Underneath, this is all igloos under here, those black things that you saw that let the air circulate and keep the humidity away. There are some of the out pipes, if you like, drainage pipes that are laid under that. But then, under this new layer, there will be the finer pipes that go, and then they are covered again in about 10 centimetres of concrete. Scusa, Roberto. So they will then come up much higher, so therefore just inside the front door there'll be a small step on this side, and just between the two layers here there might be the smallest step, but we're thinking by the time they do that, and then it has the new tiles in here which are thicker tiles than what's over there at the moment, because we've chosen a tile that's a lovely thick high quality ceramic tile that looks like travertine, which I will put the photos now for you over the screen because I know you're dying to see what we chose, and we're really happy, and I know that they're going to look awesome. So in the shower cubicle here, if you can see that line there, which will be tidied up, of course, that is the height, which is 2 meters. That's the height of where the tiles will go to on the 3 walls. Okay, so the shower cubicle is that end, as I've told you before. And then above, it will be as it is, but the rest of that wall there will be the same stucco, which is going to be like almost like a linen color, if we can obtain that. That's what we're looking for, kind of a linen color stucco, which is just going to match really beautiful with all the different tones in the stones, the colors of the floors, and just be a little bit more colorful, let's say slightly better, different color to the in between the stones, just to warm things a little bit, but still keep them extremely light, because we need to bring as much light into here as we possibly can. So as I explained from the other side, this is the electrical outlet for that backlit mirror, which will have the sink underneath, and that sits directly opposite the little peephole, as I call it, from the other side. So you see from one side to the other, which I think is a really sweet, just a sweet little extra, if you like, a little bit of architectural interest. And here, as I've told you before, toilet bidet. So all of these walls now are going to have that special finish on them, including the new walls will have exactly the same finish. So it's going to be just a very kind of like, no, this is rough, but you know, that lovely kind of organic, what they call stucco render, which is fine though, not like this and not like outside. It's smoother to the touch without being totally smooth like a plastered wall, but smooth enough that you don't scratch, you don't touch it and feel like it's scratchy. So these will all be done with that same finish, and I think it's going to look gorgeous. I'll show a photo to you again of the kind of colourway I'm trying to go for, which I think I've shown you before, but they're seeking that out for me at the moment, and it'll be ordered. Hopefully will come in the next couple of days, and then they can really get going on the walls. Now, while we're in Cantina number 1, where you know they haven't even started work yet, because we're doing one first finishing and then coming across here, this is an interesting bit of progress though that's going to happen this week. This beautiful old door, I did mention to you that we really, really wanted to retain these doors if possible. Buying new doors that are of a good quality are extremely expensive. I think in most countries it's the same, and we really wanted a spectacular, or at least a really lovely, authentic front door here for the Cantina. And the more I looked at this door and thought, seeing my next door neighbour's doors that had been restored from very old, painted, ugly doors as well, that were kind of battered and a little bit broken, and how they came up, I thought, no, we can do the same. This door weighs a ton. Every time they try and take it off, it weighs a ton. It's very heavy, either chestnut or oak. And of course, it's got who knows how many decades or maybe even centuries of paint on it. So I found a lovely local man who is English Italian like me, who does restoration of doors and windows. He is coming tomorrow to take this door away, and we'll have a replacement door in the meantime to close up. But he's going to totally strip the door, replace any pieces of timber, like at the bottom on the sides there are broken parts. But there is no there's no woodworm or anything in this door that we can tell. He'll be able to tell better once it's been taken off. But it's actually in pretty exceptional condition, considering the geometer said to me this door is hundreds and hundreds of years old. So the door is really cute, and I love the style. It's got very old single panels of glass. So what Paolo is going to do, he's going to take those out and replace those two pieces with double glazing. So we'll have a modern twist on it as far as being well insulated. And I'm just going to push that to show you. Oops. What I love as well, if you can see that, sorry, it's a little bit dark behind here. It's got gorgeous, really, really old latches and things that I want to retain. And why is that not coming out? Oh, it's stuck. There we go. But look at that. That actually has an interior shutter, which I love. I think that's gorgeous. So when the door's closed and it's open, it's closed and we're inside, it actually allows a lot of light from outside in as well, which we tend to just leave it closed, obviously, because we're in and out all the time. But it's a lovely little interior. I'll need two hands to close that again. That's okay. Lovely little interior shutter. So that will all remain. And all of the timber, you can see inside how it's not been painted. It really is a lovely, lovely timber. And look at the lovely old, can you see those? They're really old. Roberto said to me that they're probably about 400 years old. So we want to keep as much as we possibly can, obviously. And just to give you an idea, this is the next door neighbour's door into their cantina that I was saying used to look like ours. And look how that came up once it was restored. It is gorgeous. Sorry, I just tripped. It is gorgeous. The bottom of this was totally replaced because it was broken. You would never know. It's just beautiful. So we'll end up having our door in timber like that with a varnish on it, just like that. Those ones there were also older doors that were fixed. They're not as fancy as this one, and they're not as fancy as ours. Ours is quite a lovely door when you see the patterning on the front. So if you can imagine that coming back to that lovely oak colour or chestnut colour once it's stripped, it's going to be something a little bit special, I think. And it will suit the entry of the cantina so well. Can you imagine then coming up to this beautiful archway? It's a mess, I know, but coming up to this and seeing a beautiful oak coloured door just like those ones there. I thought I would just show you while we're talking doors and windows. This is a window that opens two ways. It opens fully in and it also opens from the top, so that you can always just leave it open just a little to get the breeze through and air circulation. And this one is powder coated aluminium. So normally we would only go for timber. I'll just show you, it looks just like timber. They do such a great job over here on making things look like they're oak. It's just incredible. And that is a double glazed window, and that is the one that's going in the kitchen section, if you like, of the cantina downstairs, which is hidden behind the outside big bars, the old-fashioned bars, so you really won't see it very much from outside anyway. Consequently, that's why we thought we'd go for the less expensive option than timber in this case, because it really won't be seen that much. And from inside you'll just see the frame, but again it'll probably have some kind of window treatment on it, so it's going to do the job. It's going to look just great. And we had to have it custom made. We went to a really big store in Pisa that I've taken you to shopping before, called Technomat, and they made it for us. It took about 6 weeks to have made. I think it was actually completed while we were in England, and then we had to collect it from a pickup place in Pontedera, which is closer to us, and it cost, I think by memory, about 320 euros. But in comparison to that, just so you understand, I went to a local carpenter that makes windows and doors to ask for the same sort of window made in timber, and it was somewhere between 700 and 800 euros. So massive difference in price, and as you know, we're on a bit of a budget, so therefore this was absolutely the best option. You'll see a little bag on the floor here. I'm starting to get ready for my departure well in advance. I'm just trying out different things because I don't know whether I'm just going to travel with a little on-cabin bag rather than a suitcase this year. Anyway, there you go. That's giving you an idea of costs and different things between having the timber and the aluminium, powder coated aluminium done. Here comes some people inside now. Whoops! They've lost all the light as well. I had to stop for a minute. Those four crazy girls out there, I don't know what's going through people's heads. Oh, I love the green gnocchi here at Chianni Bistro. Jackie is busy taking photographs. So I'm here to dinner with the lovely Jackie and the lovely Kelly, who are two gorgeous sisters from the States. Are you both from Chicago, or do you both come from Chicago?
We're originally from Chicago.
Oh.
She lives in Wisconsin now, and I live in Arizona.
Oh, okay, right. So living in different places, but they've come here for a holiday, but also to look at lovely houses. And they've kindly brought me out for dinner. So we've got some really yummy dishes going on there. That looks really good. I hope it's delicious. Oh, good, you've tried it? Awesome. Buon appetito. And I've got the gorgonzola, pear, and walnut gnocchi, which I love, with a beautiful glass of, I've got the Sofia rosé, which I just love. It's a local vineyard just outside of Terricciola, which is that you know where the beautiful houses I showed you just last week, the three houses? This is one of the wonderful vineyards just near there. So, buon appetito, everyone! Buongiorno, everyone. How are you today? So today is Tuesday, and I have just finished my Tuesday therapies here at the spa in Casciana Terme, and it was great. Each time I go, I feel like I'm taking one step forward, literally. I'm getting stronger. I'm working now not only on my leg, but they've also now introduced work on my spine, which is fantastic because of my fractures. Whereas before they just wanted to concentrate on my tendons and my muscles that were torn. So now I have a mixed therapy in the pool. The techotherapy, which is the tissue rebuilding therapies, are obviously still just for my tendons and muscles. So that's all going really, really well. But I had some really exciting news this morning, and some of you may be surprised by me saying it's exciting, but David managed to change my flights back to Sydney for sooner. And so I'll be leaving in, I think it's 14 days, which feels right. It just feels right because it's been a really big year for me. I don't really want to spend any more time alone. And also I just feel like I need to be at home with my husband and my mother. And that makes me feel more at peace with things, if you know what I mean. So here comes my bus, but I thought I would just catch up with you, and I'll talk to you later. I'll show you some of the renos when I get home. I've just popped downstairs again now that the workers have left, and this is a trial today. We're looking at colours. So they've rendered just a patch here in the corner to show me a colour. Now it's not dry yet. It's going to dry a lot lighter. In fact, it should dry to be similar. So I'm just going to walk through the light. Similar to what this colour is at the back, which I know is hard with the light in here. But this colour is kind of like the colour of linen. If you can imagine a natural linen colour cushion or sheet, like that oatmeal-y kind of colour, that's what that colour is, more or less. But that was not the finished wall at all. So they've mixed up a render that literally has the same colour palette as that. This is darker than what it will dry. So but tomorrow morning, apparently, I'm going to be able to understand the colour far better and then make a decision from there. So I'll be waiting, but I just came down, I was curious to see. And more so, sorry, I'm going to have to walk through the light again. More so, let me see if it's, no, it's not really touchable yet. It's still a bit wet. Yeah, okay. Because they wanted me to see whether I liked also the texture of how they're finishing it. But just to the eye, sorry, I'm getting reflections of the camera and of myself, which is a bit of a nuisance. To the eye, it looks really good. As far as I wanted something as I said, that organically followed the walls, that wasn't straight and squared off and perfect, but also that was still nice and smooth. I didn't want it to be bumpy or too rough. The walls above are kind of like more rustic and rough, if you like, but that's normal because they're between the stones. But because this wall then creates, if you like, a backdrop to the bed, and that will create a backdrop to the bath, and of course then the walls in between, oops, I'm going to have to go around the light, sorry. These walls are the same. I would want them, they'll all be the same colour, but I would want them to be looking nice and smooth, but just that lovely linen colour. And these walls will be the same, sorry, in the bathroom, as I said earlier on. So let's wait and see how that dries tomorrow, but I'm hoping we're on the right track because that looks like a nice kind of soft, if it's softer, it's going to be a nice warm, not as white. And they're not white, they look white because the stones are dark, but they are actually like what they call like a broken white or a dirty white, whatever you want to call it. They're not white. I saw the white colour that you could have, which was very stark. So this is already softer at the top. And at the bottom, if it's just a little bit linen coloured or oatmeal coloured like that, I'll be happy because it suits the colour of the stones. It'll suit the colour of the floors that I'm going, as I said, I've showed you the photograph of the tiles. You've just seen that. The timber, when the timber is all restored and looking beautiful on the doorways, etc., it's going to all marry in really beautifully together. So fingers crossed that we're on the right track with that. So this is the finished wall that they did yesterday in the corner. It's a little bit dark in here. The light is in the bathroom at the moment. He's working in there. But if you can see that lovely, what would I call it? Oatmeal colour almost. Can you tell the difference? I can tell. I hope you can tell between the whiter colour above and the more oatmeal colour below. I really like that colour. It's like a linen colour, and I think that's going to look lovely. So we're continuing with that all the way around. Pepe's doing an amazing job in the bathroom. So he's created this curves because we've got a large round mirror, backlit mirror. That's why there's that tube sticking out in the middle. To put a mirror, and we were kind of wondering how we would do it because as you can see, the walls are so uneven that he's built the wall out to make it totally plumb the whole way along, but which then creates a separation from the wall behind. Now I'm fine with that as far as having almost like a little ledge along. It just adds to the quirkiness of the building. I actually quite like things like that. I'm not someone that wants everything dead straight and even, and that now is perfectly plumb and straight the whole way along, so it creates a nice flat backdrop for the mirror to be placed upon. Sorry, I keep on sticking my hand in the way. I talk with my hands. I'm Italian. That's my Italian blood showing. So he is now covering it with the same colour as what's on the walls, and I'll spin around and show you. So these walls now are literally dry, so it looks darker in there, but this is how they dry off, which is beautiful. Very, just that soft linen look, which is exactly what I wanted. Exactly what I wanted. I'm just really, really happy with the colour that has come out. That back wall's not done yet because he said I'm leaving that to last because the electrician has to come in and fix up the electrical box down in that. See that corner, that orange box? And then, of course, to finish off, he has to do these great big bathroom walls, the new walls. They will be the same. But if you can imagine now, you're seeing that arch that he's building. Now when you look through from the bed, or as you walk through, or even if you look through the little hole up here behind me, you'll just be looking straight in at that lovely backlit mirror. And I think it will be a really lovely feature. So, and I kind of like how it comes out a little bit from the stone, because when it's backlit, it's obviously going to glow against that backdrop of the stones. So I think that's going to look really, really nice. Excellent. Another great day's work done. Good morning from the, big light in my eyes, from the cantina, everyone. Let me step back here out of the way of the light. There we go. Right, so I mustn't touch these new walls. So this wall inside here, I'm banging against things, and Pepe's working in the other room. This wall now has been complete. He's just run out of this special stucco, so they're just delivering some more to him. So he just can't get on with that just for the moment. And that's obviously that's being done. That was done yesterday. That was done this morning. You can see how it dries. Can you see the colour difference? It dries from that to that. But this is a lovely colour. I know with all these weird bright lights and low lights in here, it's hard for you to tell, but it's just a lovely sort of soft linen colour that just matches so well. It still gives us the lightness we want and the brightness we want, but still gives us that slightly gentler look than a stark white. And white is very Mediterranean, of course, which I love that look. I love that sort of Greek or Mediterranean look. But we're in Tuscany, and I just thought, no, this is far more appropriate to have the soft caramels and linens and colours that go with the beautiful mix of stone and brick. So this area here now that will be behind, obviously, the mirror and the sink area is now all finished. If you're wondering why all of a sudden we come here and it's rough and awful and everything, is because here there will be a tiny little wall that sits out just a few centimetres out from this wall out here. Because that has the built-in, here in Italy they prefer to build in the toilet mechanism into the wall and have the actual toilet and bidet sitting in front directly against the wall, or even suspended. We've decided against suspended. They kind of worry me. It's funny, we don't have them a lot in Australia. They exist, of course, and I know they look glamorous, and here in Italy it's so common. But you know what? I just think if they're sitting solid on the ground like they do where I'm used to, it can't go anywhere, can it? Can't fall off a wall. I just don't want toilets that shift and move around. So I feel better that way, and so does David. So that will be toilet bidet there. Lovely, beautiful marble sink that we've found. It's like a bowl sink. Again, I'll show you photos if I haven't before. Just going ahead with all the orders for those things now. And of course the shower area will all be tiled on 3 sides. We can't have the walk-in like we wanted because the shower ended up being more of a square rather than a long rectangle. So we'll just have a glass shower door instead, but we'll have not sliding. As far as I know, it'll be, like an open and closed door, which I feel is more comfortable. So that's all that. I'm so pleased with all of this, honestly, really, really pleased. And then as we look out there, if you can imagine now when you walk out of the bathroom, here will be your bed straight under, there's Pepe, straight under the little hole there, and beautiful lights hanging down either side. It's going to be really gorgeous.